Hey gang, it's December 7th, 2017, and you are watching Sneakerphiles Live with Brooke Hoetzer. Hey everybody, welcome to Sneakerphiles Live with Brooke Hoetzer. I'm your host, or your co-host, Eugene. You can find us online at www.sneakerphiles.com. You can find us on Twitter at Sneakerphiles and on Instagram at Sneakerphiles_podcast. All that information is down below in the description. And without further ado, here is your host, Brooke.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for catching us. I know we took a week or two off, so we definitely got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. We also have a special guest on our show who I'm very thankful to have on here. If you don't know him, you should follow him on Instagram, Twitter, or wherever it is. Watch his YouTube channel because his reviews are definitely on point, and he has some really great style picks of outfits. So, yeah, this is Sneaker Talk. So we got Christian on the show tonight. What's going on?
Hey guys, happy to be here. Yo, this is gonna be a good time. I know this is gonna be a good time. Good vibes so far. Man, it's just crazy how much new sneakers have come out in the last month alone. Like, the sneaker world is so full of life right now, so it's a good time to be a sneakerhead.
Also expensive.
Yes, very expensive time to be alive.
This month was definitely one for the books, and it's still going. So, yeah. All right, yeah. So Christian, why don't you tell our watchers where they can find you on, like, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whole nine yards?
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard of me yet, my social handles are at SneakerTalkCA for pretty much everything: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. And then my main thing is YouTube. You can search up Sneaker Talk. I'm sure you guys will leave it linked somewhere. But yeah, I do vlogs, reviews, unboxings. I do a lot of work with brands, and I'm just doing YouTube full time now. I dropped out of school 2 weeks ago, so I'm really adulting right now and having a lot of fun doing YouTube full time.
That's awesome. How was it? Because I watched your videos on you, like, telling your parents and, like, telling everyone that you were dropping out of school to, like, pursue your career, like, in YouTube, and kind of, giving us all really great content to watch. Like, how did that go?
It was I don't want to say it was a tough decision to make. It was a decision I wanted to make for the longest time. It was just the fear of how my parents would react was holding me back. And so when I finally told them, and they were pretty accepting with it, and they were very understanding with it because I, like, laid it out pretty well. I wrote, like, an essay essentially, and then I told them, let me say this, like, let me say my piece, and then I'll let you talk. So I did that, and now I'm paying rent, which I'm totally fine with paying rent. But other than that, like, the fact that I can do what I love full time and have no other distractions in my life is a blessing. So it's been one heck of a ride for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks so far.
Yeah, I bet it's probably, like, a big weight off your shoulder being able to have, like, all that free time. Because on my days off is because I work full time. So on my days off is when I try to, like, do reviews, or I try to take, like, pictures. And, like, you spend so much of that time, like, consuming that media and, like, writing those reviews that, like, it's really tough to be able to, bring all that content daily and still either go to school or work. So props to you for, like, chasing after your dream and everything. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of, like, how did, like, you get started in YouTube? That's, like, what I'm, like, really curious about. Were you just like, all right, I like shoes, let me, like, pop a review about it? Or, like, how did that all come up?
So not too many people know about this, but I talk about it here and there. I started off on YouTube about 8 years ago doing Call of Duty videos. So I would make those montages, commentaries, tell stories, all that fun stuff. And then from there, I left that. I became a DJ. So I DJ'd for about a year and a half while in high school. Played a couple gigs, birthday parties, school dances, all that stuff. And then from that phase, I switched over to like the traditional kind of YouTuber who is doing like rants and challenges. And you've probably seen those kind of videos online where they just go in like to make comedic videos and all that stuff. So I dabbled into that, and then I started getting really interested in streetwear. And then from streetwear, of course, sneakers are a big part of that. So I got into the sneakers from that, and then I started working at Foot Locker, and it was just game over from there. My addiction to sneakers was just like unlocked, and since then I've been fully immersed into sneaker culture.
That's crazy. So before I ask another question, did you pick up the new Call of Duty then that just came out?
Yes, I did. I held off on buying it for like a couple weeks. I knew I'd want to get it, but like retail price is expensive, so I waited for the Black Friday sales. Sure. Got it for like $30 off, and I've played it a little bit. I think my girlfriend's coming over tonight to play it, so should be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. I really like the new one. My girlfriend will like watch me play it, and she thinks it's like a movie because it's like more like realistic to like war. Like before, like when they did the whole Kevin Spacey stuff, that was like kind of lame when it was like so futuristic. But yeah, I totally feel you. Like working in the mall that I work at and like walking past like all the sneaker stores and everything, the temptations are just like so hard, and it's crazy. But that's really awesome, like that you started at that, and like now you have like brands sending like you so much stuff that you don't even know what to do with. So that's dope.
Yeah, it's ridiculous now. I know the temptation feeling you're talking about, because before I worked at Foot Locker, I worked at Aeropostale when it was still in Canada. And it was just on top of Foot Locker. So I went down the escalator after work, and I went into Foot Locker trying to buy some white Air Force Ones, because that's when like A$AP Rocky was really popping off with the Air Force Ones. And so I ended up buying a pair of Jordan ones because I went to the wrong section of the store and they looked so similar. I didn't really know too much about the difference, but I'm like, all right, those are cool. So I bought those, and then when I was buying those, I had like a mini impromptu interview with the manager and an assistant manager there, and they liked me. So when I left the store, they asked me to bring back my resume as soon as I could, and that's how I got hired at Foot Locker. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like though, like working, I always ask Eugene this, like working around like all the shoes and like selling them and being around them, like did it kill it at all for you, or did it like just make it worse because you just had that discount too?
Oh, it made it worse. Yeah, that discount is, you just look at it and you're already doing the math about whatever shoe that comes in, or you have the release calendar in the back, or you see how much stock is there. So it really helped, I want to say, like enable me in my sneaker addiction. If I never worked at Foot Locker, I don't think I would have become this big into sneakers. Like I probably might have never even made SneakerTalk if I never ended up working at Foot Locker on a random whim. So yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I'm glad that you did. It's funny because I know like a couple of my friends work at Foot Lockers or Finish Line, and they'll never, if you notice this, if you work at a shoe store, like you never pay resale or even retail because you're like so used to that discount that like you don't even like look at anything else. That's wild though. But so like I was talking to you before the show came on, I recently was in New York a little while ago, and I missed Christian because he was in there. So what were you doing when you were in New York? Like I saw some of your videos. You met someone that like you're really like was your role model and kind of like helped you to really like kind of focus more on like YouTube and everything. If you could just talk about that experience, that'd be great.
So me flying to New York City was on a complete like spontaneous trip. There's this guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a CEO of his like advertising firm, and he has a few books out. I consumed that content, and he has a lot of free content available. And then from that, it really just helped enable me to pursue my passion, which was like sneakers and stuff. And I read a book called Crush It. And in the book itself, it said something about like, if you have a passion for sneakers, then why not make a blog about it and just start creating content for that. And so reading that while Sneaker Talk was like 2 months old, I was like, holy cow, is he like reading my brain? So yeah, he just puts out a lot of really good content that really motivates people, and it's good practical and tactical advice that people can like use in real life. So I've done certain things that he's taught me that have helped me like growth hack my Instagram and YouTube like crazy over the last year that I've been consuming his content. So it was his birthday. He's the first entrepreneur ever to have a sneaker release, like a collaboration. So they did one with K-Swiss, and he released 2 sneakers on his birthday. I went there to just meet him, shake his hand, thank him for what he does, and that was basically it. And sort of ask him for permission to drop out. I wasn't like, hey, can I drop out? I was just asking more or less what his thoughts were on the situation, and what he told me like lit the match for me. And so after I talked with him, I was like, all right, I gotta drop out. I gotta do it now. I have to go like pursue my passion full time. So that was like a big life-changing trip for me, and it just happened so spontaneously.
That's crazy. That's awesome. That's always like super dope when you like meet someone that like you're waiting to like kind of hear that, and then it's like the cherry on the cake of kind of like what you need to do to get yourself to where you need to be. So yeah, I was in New York. I don't think Eugene, did we have a show since I was in New York? I forget. I don't think so.
I think maybe when we talked to Sean, that's got to be after, because
Yeah.
you just talked your
It
Off-Whites,
was.
right?
It was.
So yeah, we talked to Sean Go, and I'm pretty sure Christian knows of Sean Go, right?
Yeah, I've sold him shoes. I've bought shoes from him. We talked.
The sneaker culture, gotta love that. That's great. But yeah, okay, so we haven't talked since the Nike dropped the Off-White collection. So if anyone in the chat was lucky enough to have the chance to be able to purchase the Off-Whites, definitely post, like, let us know what you got. And if you kept it, if you're selling it, or if you're trying to get even more. But I, however, was super duper lucky, and I was able to secure 2 pairs. I was able to get the Vapor Maxes, which is one of like my favorite silhouettes, and the Zoom Flies. And it's kind of crazy that we bring up Sean Go, because recently I've been watching YouTube videos, and I can't believe no one in reviewing this shoe has like failed to mention how tight and small the Zoom Fly runs. Like, I legit have to take the insoles out of them to be able to wear them. Like, and I'm always a men's 7, or even sometimes like I can do a 6.5, which is like crazy because they're so snug. Did you get any? You have the Blazers, right, Christian? Do you have any other ones?
Yeah, I got the Blazers. My girlfriend won a raffle at a local shop in Toronto, so I got those while I was in New York. She like emailed me or she texted me, whatever, because we didn't have proper phone plan. But she messaged me and she was like, "Hey, I won. Did you win?" And I'm like, "I didn't win. Of course I didn't win." But then she won it, so I was like, "Okay." I came home with the idea that I was dropping out, plus I'm gonna get the Off-White Blazers. So I was like on an all-time high. Yeah, it was so good. Besides that, Nike sent me the Hyper Dunks about 2 weeks early, so I'm very happy with that too. Yeah.
That's really cool. They're actually really clean.
Yeah.
Hyper Dunks.
Actually, I wanted to ask Christian something. I know that in that video you were talking about how your girlfriend actually won the raffle for you at whatever store, it doesn't matter. And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's one of those ones where you can do it at home, where you email in whoever can pick up for you, right? It's one of those stores, right?
Oh no, it was like a Google form. Like you had to go on the website, but she had to actually go there herself.
Yes.
So I had to bribe her essentially to travel like the 3 hours round trip.
Yes.
So she would do it.
Damn.
It was the same process here in Vancouver, because we have that store in Vancouver as well. So
yeah.
I was just wondering, like, the practice of you signing up maybe a loved one when it comes to these kind of raffles. How do these loved ones respond when they realize that they've won your size and they have to pick up in person for you?
Well, that was the very first time that someone's ever. Okay, no. One time, my ex-girlfriend, we were entering the raffles for the Jordan 6 champagne and cigars when those came out a couple years ago. And some Jordan 11 lows came out that year. I think we won like 11 raffles in total, which was crazy. So she was texting me freaking out that she won about 8 raffles and I won 3 raffles. But besides that, like in this certain scenario with the Off-Whites, I just told her, "Hey, can I enter your email for these raffles like going forward?" This was like a conversation I had a couple months ago. So whenever there's a new raffle, I tell her, "Hey, I'm entering you in some raffles. Hope you don't mind." She's like, "Okay, cool." So I just put all the information in for her. So when she does win, it's a total surprise. And then she's like, "Hey, I won a blazer. You want to buy it or something?" Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I usually do that as well, just because, I don't know. I just want to increase my odds of winning certain
why not?
things. And then, like, my girlfriend's like, I don't want these shoes, so if you enter me, then blah, blah, blah. And, like, it's happened a few times where, like, she gets way more wins than me. Like, it doesn't even work that way for me. It's like, she constantly is like, oh, I got another pair. And I'm like, just make sure you have your phone with you. You can pick up whenever, like, so-and-so calls, right? And like she ended up winning a couple. She won 2 pairs of the Beluga 2s, and I only got.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say only got.
I only got one Yeezy. Damn it!
One Yeezy.
Sounds so entitled, but I'm just saying, like, prospectively, like, she has way more luck than me, so it's hard for me not to, like, just enter her and warn her to, like, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
That's funny. I had Leah today, like, trying for Supreme. She's like, wait, it's in the cart, but I can't check out. I'm like, just stop. I'm trying to concentrate right now.
I don't think I could ever... I'd never get my girl to like, buy stuff for me. Like, for a Supreme drop, she wouldn't give me that level of, like, effort. It's the raffle or it's nothing. That's it. Yeah.
The Supreme shit is, like, it's insane. Like, it just boggles my mind, like, what the resale value of some of the pieces are. Like, today's drop is just absurd. Like, I already see, I'm pretty sure you've seen it on Facebook groups, like, people are asking for, like, 1,300 Canadian for a hoodie, and, like, that just boggles my mind. Like, a $200 Canadian hoodie is, like, going for, like, $1,300, and I don't know, like, I slept in just because I have zero interest in trying to compete with these people that just sit in front of their computers or their phones for, like, an hour after. I know Brooke's all up about that, but, like, I just can't dedicate that kind of time and effort.
Baby. Yeah, like, if I were to even, like, I don't know, if I were to even get one today, I probably would keep it. Like, I'm just the type of person that, like, I'm sure you know, Christian, too, because, like, the way that you explain, like, your love for sneakers and everything, like, you wear your shit. Like, to me, like, when I get something, like, and Eugene always makes fun of me for it, because if I ever want to sell it down the road, like, I screw myself. Well, like, when I take something out, I'm, like, immediately like, all right, let's do it on foot right now. Like, I can't just, like, let something sit. Like, I don't know. It's just not me. Like, I'm kicking myself that I even wore those Zoom flies with how tight they were, because I could have just sold them on StockX.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just like, I just want to wear it. It's bad, but
you guys don't always have to wear all your shoes, you know. It's okay to keep 200 or 300 dead stock. That's fine.
Coming from the guy that has like 20 or like 60 NMDs probably still like boxed, like, I don't want to hear it from you.
It's all right. It's an investment.
Oh my gosh, an investment. So, Christian, do you have, like, a specific, like, I see, like, you have a lot of sneakers in your room and everything. Like, do you have a special place in your house where you keep, like, the like, grails or anything that, like, you don't want to, like, flex out in the room?
So, not necessarily. Like, pretty much all the sneakers I have, I, like, really, really enjoy. But the more grail sneakers, or the ones I appreciate extra, are all behind me. So, I got the Jordan 1s up there. I got my Yeezy selection on the side here, some Bape sneakers, some Pumas, some family and friends Adidas, all the Converse are in the black IKEA boxes, and then in the other corner of my room, actually, I have another shelf dedicated with more stuff, and every shoe box has shoes inside of it too, which is a bit crazy. But there's even, like, good sneakers here too, like the my Adidas Ultra Boost and custom Air Force Ones. And then in our guest bedroom, besides all there's like 30 shoe boxes in my bedroom floor right now. But in our guest room, I have another 30 of just shoes that were sent to me that I still have to review and just make content around. So that's sitting over there. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, to say the least, how much crap I have now. Yeah.
In, like, your times of, like, being a sneaker collector and, like, doing what you do, or even before then, were your parents ever like, what the fuck? Like, another package? Like, what is going on?
My parents have become desensitized to it now, because, like, I got 3 packages in the mail today, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you got mail." I'm like, "Okay, cool." But before, I used to be like, "You're spending more money on shoes? What is it this time? How many hundreds of dollars is it for that pair? What's resale?" So my mom used to be really uptight about it. My dad's my dad understands now that I get all this stuff sent to me free, so it doesn't look as bad on my half where I'm like buying stuff online all the time, because that used to be the case. But yeah, now that it's free stuff, they don't care. They're like, it's like a good look for me because it's like brand recognition. These brands are like really supporting me by giving me the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I remember like I've been on my own for a bit now, but I remember when I lived at my mom's house, like I would like catch the packages before she got home, but then like when I moved, I
Yeah.
still kept her address and she'd be like, "There's another package here, like I've had enough." And like I drove to her house to pick up the package. She's like, "I don't want any more packages coming here." And as I'm leaving, like FedEx is like pulling in to drop off another package.
Jeez.
And she like called me and was like, "I thought I said enough." Like it's crazy, but like now she like knows, and like so does my girlfriend and everyone. They kind of just they're just used to it. Like kind of
Mm.
comes down to, well, something came for you again today. So
I love when it's like 11 a.m. at home and my parents are like complaining about me still being in bed, but then I'll hear a UPS truck or a FedEx truck or a Canada Post truck pull up in front of my house, and I just like spring out of bed and run downstairs to the door before they can say anything. And they're like, "Oh, so that's what it takes to wake you up." Sneakers in the mail.
that's crazy. So you definitely I kind of want to touch into a topic that I definitely wanted to talk about since you kind of just showed all the shoes that you have in your room, and you definitely have a lot of different brands. So you're very
Mm.
brand diverse, correct? Like you're not very
Yeah.
like committed to one brand.
I used to be pretty committed to uh like Adidas, Nike, and Jordan brand like 3 years ago, maybe. But
Hmm.
since then, like since my own platform and stuff has grown a lot, I've become more open to more brands, and like if Puma wants to reach out, I'm not gonna say no, or if Asics wants to reach out, I'm not gonna say no. I'm willing to try new things.
Hmm.
So yeah, just because of the business that I'm in, like if I restrict myself to wearing like only Adidas, that puts so many other opportunities out of the window. So I'm sort of like forced to be in a neutral, diverse state, but at the same time, like I love all sneakers, so it's not a problem for me either.
That's dope. How is Puma's comfort like compared to like Nike or Adidas? Because I see you flex in those. What are they like? The Puma, like they kind of remind me of like Flyknit shoes almost. Like they're kind of like high ones.
The Suki Coreys, I posted two pictures of them on Instagram recently. Are
I
those
think
it
so.
maybe? Um,
Maybe, yeah.
The comfort for Pumas is definitely getting there. Like I know back then I just used to know Puma for their suedes and Clydes. They had a BioWeb sneaker that caught my interest years and years ago, but that's more of an athletic shoe. But the new stuff they're putting out now with the jamming technology that looks like Dippin' Dots or Nerds candy is really comfortable.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
very
those ones
yeah,
that you
those are
posted, ones that look like nerds.
yeah, those are similar to they're like Air Max, like the Air Nike Air unit kind of comfort with like a 20 to 30% bounciness to it. So it's not quite Boost, but it has that more sturdy feeling that Nike Air has. And then there's the other stuff like the Ignite foam, which they're putting in a lot more models, and it's quite similar to Boost, but not at that level. And then even Puma has their own like Boost technology, but they just don't call it Boost because they don't have that like naming rights for it. But they have like a budget like $70 sneaker that has like full length Boost in it, which is really cool to see. So Puma stepped up their game for comfort a lot in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of people like rocking some Pumas. Like there's this guy at my work that stays flexing Pumas, and they definitely have improved like from what they've been in the past. So I do have to ask you though, who are you more a favor of, Supreme or Bait?
Ooh. From a practical standpoint, like where my style is at, a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying it, but I like Supreme's like simplicity and like just I like Supreme pieces a lot more when it comes to wearability, but when it comes to like the novelty of it and the fact that I love like anything super Japanese and out there, I love Bape for its like outrageous pieces. So there's like a balance for me. I have way more Bape pieces than I do Supreme, but I think that's just because I've been to Japan twice and I was able to get it for retail or get it hooked up. When it comes to Supreme, I didn't really have any Supreme hookups besides the one thrift I went to, which wasn't really a hookup. That's a hard question,
Bape.
Yeah, let's just go with Bape because I've spent so much money on it and I own too much of
Look,
it. But Supreme has a place in my heart.
The Supreme thing, I understand why it's so popular, just because, like, it's one of those very, very exposed kind of brand that a lot of I don't even know, like celebrities or influencers, they get a lot of grams or posts or whatever. I think it started getting mainstream when like Tyler the Creator started wearing it in his videos and shit. But the biggest issue I have is like a lot of these initial influencers that was fucking with Supreme, like they're actual skaters and BMXers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now we have a lot of just regular people that aren't into skate culture, like rocking that stuff. It's kind of got like this weird Thrasher vibe to it where I don't even know. Like, I was educated that Thrasher used to be like a skate magazine and publication. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
And now not everyone, but like a lot of people are wearing that stuff just to like fit into that culture. Whereas I love the way that Bape was brought up as a high-end streetwear label, and that didn't exist for the longest time. Like, people wanted streetwear because they were cheap and replaceable, but like Bape entered this high fashion, well, the price was high end anyways, and they entered like this weird novelty kind of space in fashion where it ended up catching on because, like, the Japanese fashion scene's like 10 years ahead of everyone else. And like I've been like messing with Bape for a long time now. I go to Asia quite often and regularly, so I always hit up the Bape shops, and like, to be honest, the Supreme store services, like, it's not exactly on par with the Asian brands.
They're dicks at the Supreme in the New York store. Like, if you go there and like just like ask to like look at anything or just like say, hey, how are you? They're just like, what's up? Like, me and Leo went there like last year, and I remember I was looking at this. They didn't have a small crew neck. They had a medium, and I'm like a small person, so I just tried the medium on. And I asked the guy, I'm like, do you think this looks too big? He's like, I don't know, looks fine to me. I'm like, all right, man. Like, nice talking to you.
Oh my god.
Like, sorry to ruin your day with a question. Like,
that's
their
like the
customer
polar
service
opposite
is,
from
like,
Bape.
awful. Oh, really? Did you have good service when you were there?
Yeah, Bape in Japan, they like love you. Like, they become a personal shopper for you almost. Like, they'll help you with anything you need. And I think that's just part of the culture there in Japan too.
Yeah,
that's like for every store in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan, especially in Japan, all the higher end retailers, they treat their customers like kings. Like, they really want they want your money, but like they really want kind of you to come back and have a good experience and tell people about it. Whereas in the American culture, like, once they build up a certain reputation, they're like, we don't care, you're gonna come back and buy the stuff we drop anyway. So they really don't need your money because the next person behind you will just buy the item anyway. So that Japanese retail culture has been like that forever, and it's really something that I wish North American or European retailers would kind of adapt.
The thing I love about Bape too is their like retail stores. The atmosphere they have there is like second to none. There's no store that's recreated that kind of atmosphere, in my opinion. Like, it's such a unique storefront. And then, like, going back to the customer service, the fact that they treat you like kings. When you leave the store, they'll walk you out of the door, carry your bags to you, and then thank you at the door when you leave. Like,
I need to go to Japan.
Yeah, you need to. You need to.
That sounds sick. Yeah, even the Bape store, in my opinion, compared to the New York store, were just like so much more helpful. So like, we went to Bape, I got a shirt and I got a phone case for my phone, and like, the girl was like, I was trying to find sweatpants and I actually found them, and I really regret still to this day not buying them, but Leo was kind of like, don't spend that much money on those sweatpants. Like, you just got here, like, you're still gonna like shop this and that. But like, the girl was like so nice. Like, she like let me try, like, just compared to like how much of a dick that guy was at Supreme. Like, she like let me try them on. Like, she was like showing like me. The only one down thing about Bape is it's really hard to shop for their stuff online, because I know, Eugene, you've warned me before about it. Their sizing runs like super duper small. Like I could not eat like the medium. Like I like myself oversized, and like the medium was like a small to me. It was
Yeah.
weird.
You just get used to
But
that with like the Japanese streetwear brands. You
Japanese
get used
people
to
are just
the
smaller, dude.
sizing. Yeah.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of like what you have to take in consideration. So when you were in New York, Christian, like what were your favorite stores that you went to?
Stadium Goods is usually really good. I liked the new Kith location a lot. It was a really good
Yeah,
experience,
dope.
but I feel like I like the old Kith a little bit better just because it was easier for me to find like what I was looking for. But yeah, Kith
I
is always a
agree to
really good
that.
store. And like I don't even think they needed to renovate or get a new location. Like what they had was I thought was perfect already. And then what else? What else? I forgot to go to the Nintendo store yet again for like the fifth time. Uh, yeah. Oh, the Foot Locker flagship store was really cool too. Like that was the biggest Foot Locker I've seen in my entire life. So those are some good stores. And Flight Club, I went to Flight Club for the first time. Those prices, oh my gosh. In person and
Yeah.
online is one thing, but seeing the price tag in person is like it's a reality. They want that much.
Dude, it really is. We went to Fight Club and I was just like picking up a pair of shoes that I was wearing and it was like $1,200. And I'm like, who like I just don't know like who goes in there and like doesn't do any research. Like for me, like when I buy a shoe that's over retail, I
Yeah.
research the fuck out of it. Like I'll go on StockX, I'll go on eBay, I'll go on Goat. Like I'll go
Hmm.
on so many various sites before I would ever pay. Like that is insane. Like I don't understand how they even sell. Like it's crazy. I
Yeah.
guess it's the convenience. That
The
must be it.
convenience. People also want to just say they like bought it at Flight Club too, I guess, and that it has they have really good brand recognition and all the celebrities shop there, so yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
bought my first pair of shoes from Stadium Goods though 2 days ago, and that hurt.
What were they?
The Gatorade Jordan 6s. They haven't released in Canada yet, but I bought them for a video I was making. So I'm gonna hit with yeah, it's gonna hurt my wallet
okay,
with the duties
I
and
just want to
taxes.
ask. I just saw
Yeah.
that new video that dropped a few hours ago. Your Instagram fucking
Yeah, that
ad
was
buying
it.
challenge, and I did
Yeah.
see that you buying those Gatorades, and like, I just wanted to know, like, all that shit's legit, right? You didn't no setups or anything.
No set. I'm wearing a hoodie right now that was from that video. I
How
got
long
it in the
ago did
mail
you shoot
today.
that?
I shot that December 4th, so 3 days ago.
Oh, that was quick then.
Yeah, so this hoodie is amazing. Like it's like a tech wear hoodie, water resistant and all that stuff. I feel like a ninja wearing it. And then I also got what was it?
It's
Let me
sleek.
see. Ugh.
Man.
In the video, I also got this, the Exploding Kittens game, so that came in the mail yesterday. And then I'm still waiting on the watch and the Jordans and what else? And a t-shirt from like Europe. But yeah, my wallet's bleeding after that. I meant to spend 700 or 750. I spent like 850.
Yeah, that's the I don't know. That's the thing with doing these challenges. You gotta have the commit. Man, I was really hoping like some nefarious ads would come up, like I don't know, like a Rolex ad or like some fucking
Yeah.
adult massager ad. Oh, that would have been great if that happened.
That was wild.
With that video, the thing is that I know that Instagram like uses cookies and all that stuff, so I had an idea that they would advertise to me things that I might already have an interest in, so I didn't. That's why I was like okay with that challenge. But if I cleared my cache or whatever, who knows what would have come up. And what was it? Oh, I was trying to find like fake Yeezy ads and stuff. Like I wanted those to come up, but no fake Yeezys or fake Bape ads came up on Instagram that for that challenge, which was disappointing.
That's crazy. So I do have to share with you guys since you brought up the Stadium Goods story of you
Yeah.
purchasing something. So a guy that I work with, legit, like I don't know how this happened, but let's just say someone at Stadium Goods probably lost their job. So my friend Mike is really into Supreme. He rocks the shit out of it. I'll have to post him in my story so you can check out his Instagram page. He has a really dope style. He's been really wanting a Supreme North Face. So one night he's just been like constantly like checking different sites. One night he was on Stadium Goods. Someone uploaded I don't know if they fucked up or if it was like a hidden little deal, but like I never read anything about it. They had that Supreme North Face jacket, the puffy one with like all the like leaves on it.
Yeah.
He got it for $10 over retail.
Oof.
So he bought it, got a
Yeah.
shipment notification. I
Yeah.
was like, yo, man, that shit's going to get like flagged. It's not, Eugene's checking his phone right now to see if it's on there. That shit's going to get flagged. Like, there's no way that that's coming to you. He gets another notification from FedEx that it shipped. We then go on the website and look, and the size and the same jacket is listed for $1,000.
Yeah.
And he got it for $10 over retail on Stadium Goods' website.
Did it deliver
Like-
or did it just ship or what?
Yeah,
Like,
it's delivered, shipped, everything. He has a
man,
picture of it
that's
on,
a come up
everything.
right there.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck, like how that happened. I wish I was on the website the same time as you, but that shit is wild. Like, got it for $10 over the retail ask on Supreme's website. Like, I couldn't believe it. So, I mean, sometimes I guess those, those reseller stores, they might show you some love every once in a while.
Once in a
Well,
blue
that's
moon.
insane. Yeah, right. Let me see here what else I want to kind of discuss about.
Hey,
Eugene,
Chris,
did you
what's
pick
up?
up any off-whites?
Me? No, I'm not that. I'm not lucky like you guys. Come on now. I went.
I see you review them, so I didn't know.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't know how much you guys know, but like, I work very, very closely with Stay Fresh. It's like one of the local consignment stores here in Vancouver, and we have access to like almost any shoe you can think of, and every opportunity I get to like take a picture or make a video of like a shoe that's not going to be as easy for people to get, I try and do that. And like I've told multiple people this, like, I don't like doing shoe reviews just because there's so many better channels out there, like SneakerTalk, like Christian. He does an awesome job doing sneaker reviews, so
You really do.
and Sean
Thank you.
Go as well. And like for me, I'm just like, what I try and do for like sneaker reviews, like hold the fucking sneaker up to the camera and do as detailed shot as possible so people can like compare their pair to mine, just so that they can maybe legit check their pair with like the content I'm giving out. But those off-whites, like I don't want to take back what I said like at the beginning of the announcement of the off-whites during the summer or spring. I wasn't a huge fan of it just because I love the Chicago's ones so much, the OG ones that Michael Jordan wore, and for them to like somehow mess with it, to me that was like that was so wrong.
It's like
to me.
taboo.
It is, and like I was so against it, and I talked about this like to no end on the podcast, saying like, how dare they mess with the Chicago ones? The other ones, whatever, great. And some of them were actually really good canvases or platforms to get more exposure, like the Vapor Max. That's a great new shoe to like mess with. And
Yeah.
but like the Chicago, not just Jordan ones, the Chicago ones,
The
and-
OG.
yeah, exactly. And like that kind of bothered me, but like the more I saw it, I'm like, ooh, they do look kind of nice. And then like once I and like I saw them in person, in hand, like maybe 3-4 months before they actually released to the public, and I'm like, actually these are really nice. And like I've been biting my tongue since then. Like I've caught myself doing this, man. I don't want to judge whether or not I like a shoe before I see it in hand, and like I've been trying to practice that, and I've made a lot of wrong decisions based on early photos and stuff. Like the Cos 4 looked like trash in that blurry, grainy photo, but they ended up turning out great in the final product.
Yeah.
See, for me personally, like a lot of people were so hyped, and don't get me wrong, like the Jordan 1 off-whites, they're definitely really nice. Like I would totally love to have them in my collection. But out of all of the 10, now that I have like the Zoom Flies, now that I have the Vapor Maxes, I honestly would take, like, in my opinion, the Prestos are the best ones out of that whole entire pack. That's just how I feel about that.
They're my second
the-
favorite.
Are the Jordan
dope.
ones your favorite?
Yeah, the Jordan ones are my favorite just because the Chicago ones are a grail of mine I still have yet to buy. But if I were to, like, get any besides the Chicago ones, it'd be the Prestos. It's just the resales. I can't do the resale.
Yeah, the press, I really want the Prestos, and I'm in like the pickle right now where I don't know if I should buy them now or if I should wait because I don't know if it's going to keep going up because I have seen like leaked images of like off-white Vapor Maxes that are coming out next year.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if like the price is going to go down or what it is, but I'm also a size 7. So size 7s are more expensive, they're more of a rare size, and sometimes they're harder to get. So, do the Blazers, Christian, run true to size, or do they fit like a Converse?
Yeah, true to size for the Blazers.
True to size. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jordan. I'm surprised you don't have the Chicago's.
Everyone is asking me, like, they DM me, yo, why don't you have the off-white ones, the Chicago one off-whites? I'm like, have you seen the resale prices? Like,
Or even,
I don't.
well, even the Chicago's in general.
Well, I wanted the Chicago's, but resale's just gone up so much now. Like, I used to think resale for those was 500 to 600 Canadian for the longest time, but now it's like 7, 8, 900 Canadian, which is like 650, 700 US. So I can't justify it. Like, I could afford it, but like that'd be a stupid use of my money. So I can't justify the purchase right now, but maybe in 6 months I feel like I could just buy it. But right now it's not a good move for me to buy it. Just like buying a car for me is not a good move right now.
So, it's kind of crazy because some of the Jordan 1s resale is like insane. Like if you look at the shattered backboards, which is a grail that I really want, for my size, a size 7 is the cheapest I've ever seen. It was $1,000 US.
Holy shit.
Yeah. If you go on GOAT and StockX, 1,500.
I have a sad
shattered backboard.
I have a sad story for that shoe. So when I bought I like never pay resale for shoes. In the last year alone, I've only paid resale twice, excluding the Stadium Goods recent purchase from a few days ago. But the Bread Ones were the first pair of shoes I paid resale for in years, and I got them for $420 Canadian, which I think is like $350 US, which is a really good price at the time. It's still a good price now. Now they're going for like 500 brand new in Canada. But right when I bought those, the seller offered me shattered backboard ones for 400 US. Or 400 Canadian, so like 330 US. And I said no.
God.
I said no. I said no
God.
because I had just paid resale for the very first time in years on the Bread Ones. So I was like, all right, I'm broke as fuck now since I just bought the Bread Ones. I had the money to buy the shattered backboards, but I was like, I just want to appreciate the Bread Ones I just bought. Yeah. So I'm not going to forego over more resale. Like, it took me a lot just to pay resale for that one shoe. But looking back, I asked him 2 days after, hey, do you still have the shattered backboards? He's like, nah, man, I sold them a few hours after we met up. I was like, I took the fattest L ever because I know I'm never going to buy those shoes. Like, I'm never going to buy those shoes ever. It doesn't make sense for me. I'd rather buy like Chicago ones or some other shoes.
Yeah.
Knowing that L I took.
So here's my shattered backboard one story, okay?
Okay.
I have one that's almost as tragic. So those came out a bunch of years ago, like 3 years ago. And the craziest thing is, like, back then I was on like a hot streak of winning all these raffles. And the shattered backboard ones were only available in 1 or 2 stores in Vancouver. So on that same day, it was a Saturday, obviously, release. And I signed up for all these raffles. And I ended up winning a pair of shattered backboard ones. And the Pirate Black Yeezys on the same day. So I was.
And you fucking picked the Pirate Black Yeezys.
No.
Okay, let's hear.
It's one from each store. So I'm like, I went to get my Pirate Blacks, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the shit right here. I won. And then I went to pick up my shattered backboards from the other store. So I picked them up, and at the time I'm like, oh, those colorways are kind of whack, man. It's just whatever. And then I took a look at them, and I took some nice photos of them, and I'm like getting more and more, I liked them a little bit more and a little bit more. And then at the same time I was like, what is this shattered backboard? Like, there's like one grainy gif of like Michael Jordan breaking a backboard in Italy like a bunch of years ago. And I was like, all on that train is like, oh, Jordan 1s, like they're sacred, man. Only like OG colors in my collection. That's all I want in my collection is OG colorways. So I have like the Breads and the Royals and the Chicagos at the time, and I was like, that's my collection right here. This shattered backboard doesn't mean as much to me as anything else. And like, I ended up selling the shattered backboards maybe, I don't know, a week or two later for $350, $340 Canadian.
God. Oh,
Canadian.
Oh no. Oh,
And I did this
Oh my
thing where
God.
I'm like, all right, man, Facebook group, whatever. I'm gonna do this. I paid this much retail, and then I'm gonna get highest bid, and then well, I got something out of it. It's like whatever I get over retail, I'm gonna donate locally, and I donated to Canuck Place charity, and like I end up making $0. But I don't know. I got a tax write off at the end of it, so
Oh,
so I made
man,
zero.
that's-
I made zero on the resale on the shattered backboards, and now they're going for like a K. So
I had a
Yeah, I
similar
just
feeling-
looked on StockX, 1,200 for my size.
Oh god, and that's US.
Yep.
100
Mhm.
US. See, the shattered backboards for me, I had the same feeling with you, Eugene. I looked at them. I didn't think they were anything too special. Like they were a Jordan 1 that grew on me. At first, I was like an orange Air Jordan 1. What the hell? That's unusual. Like I'd rather stick with the Breads and the Chicagos and the Royals than the Shatters. But now, I think the hype sort of grew on me too. But like I'm not even much of a hype beast. I just think it's really cool now to have. Because for me, Jordan 1s I see as a daily beater shoe. So a shattered backboard, a loud orange shoe like that, I never would consider like a daily beater. But now that I have enough shoes in my rotation where I can just like wear it once a week kind of thing, it makes sense to get now. The price though, oh my gosh, I can't believe
Right.
it's a huge L. Oh my gosh.
What's your favorite Jordan 1, Christian?
Oh, bread ones for sure, hands down. Bread ones.
Yeah.
That's the first shoe I ever tried camping out for too, back in 2013.
What happened there?
And then I knew nothing about camping out for shoes, so I had to take the subway there, and I had to like go there at 6 in the morning. So I got to the downtown Toronto House of Hoops location. When I got there, there was about 100 people in line. This was like December 26th, I think, or December 27th, 2013. And I waited in line for like an hour and a half. And then a couple people are like, "Hey, there's no bread ones. There's no bread ones." I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" So I walked to the very front of the line. I asked people to hold my spot, and they were cool with that. And on the window of the door, it says, "No bread ones. They were tickets were given out last night. Sorry for the inconvenience. Please do not line up." So over 100 people just ignored that, and they stayed lining up. So what had happened was the police like for whatever reason there was a public concern with the people camping out on the sidewalk, and so the police were called. And so if you were camping out at that Foot Locker at like 8 p.m. the night before or like 9 p.m., you got tickets, and then you got to come back in the morning to secure your pair. So when those people came the following morning to buy their pair, the people in line that were waiting for like the last 4 or 6 hours, some people didn't even know about the sign at the front. They were pissed, and so they had to call the police and everything, and had to call the police to disperse the lineup at in front of the Foot Locker, and it like flooded onto
shit.
Yonge Street. Yeah, like it was crazy. So that was my first ever time trying to camp out for shoes, and from that I learned that it's not worth it unless I get more reliable information on the release.
Man,
Yeah.
that's
I've-
crazy.
I've been
that's
doing
wild.
campouts for a long time. I think the first time I actually did like a fucking scary overnight campout was for the Jordan 611 DMP pack. And
Yeah.
I'd lined up in Nike Town, Seattle, because like that was unavailable in Canada. So I went there, and I was like, I've never stayed overnight in like the street before in the
Yeah.
States, right? So that was kind of scary, right? And then eventually I did more and more campouts. In Vancouver, the hype got so stupid that people were camping out overnight for general release. Like we're talking about Carmine 6s, where like there was 200 pairs at the mall, and people were lining up, I don't know, 20 hours
It was
in
like that in
advance.
Toronto too. I was working at Foot Locker when those dropped, and they sold out. So I understand why people wanted to camp out for that. Like retail was 240 after tax, and they were reselling for 300, 350.
Yeah, is that worth it though?
Uh,
Come on now.
Some people, and I got it. I got one pair for discount, another pair on discount
Yeah,
with the $20 tip to an employee,
yeah,
and then a mom and pop shop held me down for 2 other pairs.
yeah,
So I flipped. I made a lot of money that weekend.
yeah. And
Hey, there you go.
what's the longest? I don't know. Brooke is kind of fairly new to like all the camp out scenes, but like, do you remember a time when you had to camp out for shoes, Brooke?
I've never like legit like spent the night or camped out, but I did about a couple of years ago when when the hairs came out. I waited outside of Foot Locker, I think, for like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
That's not camping out, man. That's just lining up. That's
Lining
just
up,
waiting
you know?
to open.
It's waking up early.
Yeah, they don't really let people do that at the King of Prussia Mall. Like, they don't really let people camp out.
You guys
Like,
in trouble.
for example, a lot of people got really screwed when the Fear of God vans just dropped.
Yeah.
They had people that came, like, I know because one of my friends was trying to get them. He went there the night, and a bunch of people did, and they're like, all right, you're here. We'll put your name on the list. You can wait in your car or go home or whatever you want to do, and you can come back. You were already here. You waited, all these hours until the mall closed. So the next day they went back, and they totally, what those bitches told them, they were like, fuck that. So they totally lost their place in line, had to reline up again, and they didn't even get the shoes. So, like, they don't like people to... There's not really... Besides the King of Prussia Mall, there's no, like, just standalone sneaker stores in this area, like, at all, unless you go into, like, the city. So, which is, like, a half hour away, but they don't really let you camp out. So, if, like, you're waiting for a shoe, you need to be there at, like, 5 in the morning or, like, 6 in the morning or something like that. Like, they don't really let you sleep there.
I think the longest I've ever camped out for a shoe was 2012. It was 2 nights and 3 days. I've camped out for 3 days for a pair of shoes before, and like I dragged my girlfriend with me at the time, and like I swear you can make so much money off of this. I'll pay your lost wages, and I'll give you fucking like an extra $100 on top and all that stuff. And she's like, okay, and she had no idea the value of the shoes. So I think at the end of it, we ended up picking up 2 or 3 pairs of Galaxy foams, and right away I flipped 2 of them, and I kept one, and like I ended up selling them for like $2,000 a pair American on eBay. And this is before all the apps and stuff, right? So eBay was the only go-to, and I ended up doing pretty well. I made so much money off of it, and like that's when she realized, like, okay, you can make money off of sneakers, and like she's kind of been understanding about all the work and time it takes to like get sneakers nowadays. So and another one is like the Nike Yeezys, the very first ones. I don't know if you guys remember when they came out and how they came out. Like if I told you like a Nike Yeezy were to release in store, there'd already be a lineup like 20 days ahead, right? Back then, for the Nike Yeezy ones, all 3 colorways I lined up for like 5-6 hours for. And like,
what the hell?
That's all it took, man. Like people were like, oh, I didn't know Kanye had a shoe. And like I lined up at Livestock for like 6-7 hours, and I left and came back, and then like I brought my mom in the morning, and she was able to get me an extra pair, and like it was so easy back then. And
see, like my mom like works in the mall too. Like she works for Bloomingdale's. She's a makeup artist. If I was ever like, yo, mom, go do this raffle for me, she'd be like, I'm not doing that. Like she would not like be cool with it. Like she'd totally be like, fuck that, I'm not doing that shit. Like, but then if I was like, yo, we can make mad money, then she'd be like into it probably. But it's like crazy. Like there's a lot of people too. But our problem with our mall is we have a lot of backdooring that goes on in like the mall that I work at, with like the Foot Locker there, the Champs that's there, like the PacSun that's there. So like when because PacSun releases Yeezys, when the color V2s came out, like the gold, pink, and the olive, I won all of them there because I knew someone that worked there, and he didn't care at all. He's like, yo, you want Yeezys? I don't care. So he would just pick my name out, and he was super chill. But, like, you had to be careful, especially if you were, like, a regular at any of those stores, that you never, like, fucking pissed off any of the employees. Because if they ever, like, pulled your name out, like, they'd be like, fuck this person. Like, they're not getting them. So, like, you really had to, like, show love. Like, they backdoor a lot at, like, a lot of the different places.
Backdooring isn't specifically just your area. It goes on everywhere in the world. Like, I've know some stuff, and like it's pretty whack, like how the backdooring system works, and I don't think it's a secret anymore. It's just like how some of them are a little bit less transparent than the others, and it's hard to, I don't know, like there are legit winners, but like you never know how many pairs were really available to the public if they released them also. I don't know. Don't if your location has backdooring, don't think that's fucking just you guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's why. All right, let's see what else we got going on here that I put together. Doo-ba-doo. All right. So, have you? I'm kind of curious. I didn't like send you this, Christian. Have you? We haven't even really talked about news. We're kind of just running in a conversation now, which is totally fine. Have you ever tried a pair on of the Vapor Maxes or done like been interested in them at all by any chance? Because I know you're really the Vapor Maxes. Because I know you're really big on like the boost and everything. Have you ever tried? I don't, or maybe you have, and I just didn't see. Oh, how do you like them?
They're pretty good. I like them. They're hard to style for me. I think it's just because the outsole is so different compared to anything I'm used to. Like I'm used to boosts and
like bulky, like a little bit more chunkier.
Yeah. Like to me, this looks like alien. Like this is like some alien kind of shit right here. So, I don't even know if I'm gonna end up keeping these. I've had some offers from subscribers who just want to buy them from me. I might take them up on them because I don't see myself wearing these a whole ton. But I did want to try these out. They're super comfortable, but I feel like at the end of the day, I'd rather wear an Ultra Boost. But if it's the laceless, I know I saw some teasers for like a black laceless one and a white laceless one, similar to the Comme des Garçons ones that dropped when they first came out. I'd be interested in those, but yeah, just like a regular Vapor Max, they're okay. They're okay to me.
I just picked up the multicolor ones, and it's actually kind of crazy. I got them actually early from a Finish Line in the mall. They are super, like, to me, and I think Vapor Max is more comfier than Boost. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But they're
Do you run in them, or is it just casual?
They're more of casual for running. Because I run a lot. I run in the Zoom Flies, so I really like them a lot. They're really good. Or the Pegasus 34. So like Ultra Boost, I don't have a good experience running in them. Like I've had a couple, like when you first get them and you first start running in them, like your first couple of runs are really good. But in my opinion, the durability and the lasting of an Ultra Boost does not compare to a Vapor Max. Like I can wear, like, and to Vapor Max, like a lot of people, especially sneakerheads, it's hard for them to really say that they like them until they really put them to wear. Because when you first wear a Vapor Max, it's kind of like, you put the shoe on and it's just kind of starting to get adjusted to your foot. Whereas with Ultra Boost, it's comfortable right away. Yeah. So the more you wear your Vapor Max, the better they feel. Like they break in like so great. But I know what you mean. Like when I do wear them, like you kind of have to wear them with like either joggers or like more of like slimmer pants that kind of taper around your ankles, because they're not going to look right with like a baggy type like pant. But I totally understand what you're saying. But,
have you ever tried these?
Oh, the EQTs? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're pretty, they run small.
Really?
They're very comfortable. I thought that they were a little bit. Are they the 9317s?
Yeah, 9317s.
Yeah, they kind of, in my opinion, they kind of a little bit tighter than I thought.
You know what I heard about the EQT support boot or 9317s? Like, first of all, there's a triple black coming out, so a colored boost coming out. I don't know if it dropped today or very, very soon, but yeah, that's coming out. But,
no, they dropped already.
Oh, they dropped already?
Yeah, it was like Black Friday.
Oh,
which ones were they?
We didn't.
The triple black of these, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they already came out.
Yeah, we didn't. No, our Adidas store was under renovation. They just reopened today.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So we didn't get that. But what I've heard from a very reliable source is that the 9317 is being discontinued after this year. They're not going to come out anymore. Like they're not going to make any more, just because the amount of boost that is being used and wasted for every single pair being made. I'm pretty sure you've heard something similar, Christian.
I've never heard about this.
But anyways, they're discontinuing the 9317. So I know a lot of them were like hitting sales and stuff. So if you want a pair of 9317s just to like try out or whatever, like you don't have much time left to get a pair, because they might not be coming back for a long time, if ever.
Yo, it was blowing my mind when I was at the Foot Lockers and Foot Actions in America. They were going for $100 US.
Yeah, man, they're like just giving those away.
You can't even find them. Yeah, you can't even find them in Canada for retail anymore. Like, that just blows my mind how cheap they are in the States. So for that reasoning alone, I might want to pick up a couple more. I have 2 right now, but now I want like more.
Yeah, they're gonna be so hard to get after the New Year. And I know Christian, you have a very close relationship with Adidas Canada. But
Yeah.
one of the things that's frustrating with me is is the allotment being available to Canadian consumers for Adidas. It's just mind-boggling, like how our mostly Boost items like sell out really, really quickly, and our sellout rate's probably a lot better than anywhere else in the world. Yet the Canadian market for Adidas products seems to be so lacking. Like we get maybe I don't know, a 20th of like the Yeezys and like a 10th of the Ultra Boost and stuff. That's so frustrating. Like as a Canadian sneaker representative in the social media, how do you feel about the Adidas approach to selling their products in Canada?
I've talked with Adidas directly about this during the World Cup of Hockey. I asked them about how the stock allotment happens, like why does Canada get so little Ultra Boost and stuff like that. And I think the one thing I can remember from that conversation was they said it's based off of like last year's sales. So they go off based off of that from my understanding. And they have to like prove to the brand as a whole, like not like Adidas International, they have to prove to them that Canada deserves more by selling a lot more and by having a better sell-through rate. But yeah, if I wasn't getting seeded stuff like every single week from Adidas and I wanted Ultra Boost and stuff like that, I'd be pissed because like all the good stuff is so hard to get. Now it's more obtainable. Like you can get, like I'm wearing them right now. Well, like you can get stuff like the uncaged or laceless Ultra Boost no problem now. But that's like not what people really, really wanted from the start. That's like the stuff that you're gonna get as a backup prize kind of thing. I remember I used to work at Foot Locker when the original Ultra Boosts came out, and I bought them for a review, and I returned them because they were just too expensive for me to afford. And now seeing resale on those is like, holy crap, they're really going for that much. But yeah, I hope that Adidas does get better with the stock allotment in the future because it's so disheartening when you want to give money to the brand and then you just can't. Yeah.
Their website used to, I don't know if it was like that in Canada, but their website used to be such shit in the US with your payment just not going through. Like they would put like a charge like on your credit card like when a big drop would happen, and it was just like it became so awful like to be able to purchase. That's why I really hope you guys get it soon. But one thing I love about Nike is that the sneakers app is just so like easy and just quick, in my opinion. But sometimes shit sells out, or it kind of like when I got the off-whites, I did have to use my Mac. But the cool thing about that is, you know, you have that like app that's kind of like constantly letting you know and lets you know if something's available early, which is nice. But I think, Eugene, since you texted me, we're going to hit the chat because I always just geek out and like kind of go long and start talking about a bunch of different stuff. So it looks like I posted if anyone has any questions for you, Christian. So looks like Frankie, NY State of Mind 23, wants to know how did you start to like build your relationships with sponsor brands?
Well, Frankie, they literally just reached out to me. They'll email me or they'll DM me on Instagram. For Foot Locker, for example, no, not for Foot Locker. For Converse, I was a part of the sneaker community. My friend Heath Ledger, when he was still making YouTube videos, I commented on one of his videos where he was talking about the pair of Converse, and it was a pair of Converse that actually sold out, the Chuck Taylor 2. And so Converse saw my comment on his video. They reached out to me directly, and then from like a week later, they started seeding me, and they invited me to an event. So Converse was just because I was immersed into the community, and then Adidas had an event for All-Star Weekend, and they invited me to a gifting session. They through email. Same with Nike as well. They had a Nike Sneakers Express in Toronto, and they invited me to that. What else? Puma was because I had connections to Foot Locker through Converse, and so somehow Puma got my contact info. Jordan Brand was through the people at Nike. And basically, like, to sum it all up, though, how the brands reach out to me is they just see my content, they'll see the engagement, they'll see the following, and they'll reach out to you. They'll email you, or they'll get in contact with you one way or another if they see that working with you is valuable, or if sending you product for free is valuable. One brand I had to reach out to directly because I wanted sneakers, but they never had reached out to me, was Super Footwear, the skateboarding company. And I asked them if they could send me a pair of shoes for review, and they were like, yeah, sure, we're down. So they sent them a few days later. So having the following is a huge must. But if you're just like an average sneakerhead and you're not building a platform or building an audience, the brands will not have any value in sending you free products. So you have to provide them value, and my value I give them is the audience I have access to. Yeah.
That's what's up. Did you ever like tag them in that content or like email anyone, or they kind of came out to you?
All the brands.
Them? Wow.
Yeah, it was all them, which it was really cool. I'm blessed because I'm in Toronto, and that's where a lot of the big stuff is happening in the sneaker culture. Like you guys have seen all the stores opening up. We have the Jordan store now. We have the Foot Action. There's Puma Lab. So Toronto is like, if I lived in anywhere but Toronto, I don't think I would have had these brands reach out to me as fast. The real Ray 20, the biggest sneaker like YouTuber in Canada, he doesn't work with brands like I do. Like he has only sent stuff from Converse and Asics once, and then he has Champ Sports, which is America. But he doesn't have Adidas. He doesn't have Nike, and he's like 4 times bigger than me, or like 3 times bigger than me. So the fact that I'm smaller than him, but I literally have every brand showing love, it goes a long way living in Toronto and actually having an engaged like audience that they see has value. Yeah. That's
awesome. That's really cool. I think someone else also too. I think this was kind of a general question just for the chat. So we got what are your opinions on Hypebeast, and I mean like Supreme Hypebeast, streetwear Hypebeast?
I think they're corny. You can tell when these kids just buy the brand names because it's a brand name. You can wear Supreme, but if you can't dress, you can't dress. It's just the way it is.
Oh my gosh, yes. You highlight something so great. Yeah. Because there's so many people out there that try to flex with like shoes or just anything. And if like you don't know how to style something, like you're just gonna look like a noodle. Like I just don't get it. Like
it's come to the point where it's like you can buy cool sneakers and suddenly you're cool. You can buy a Supreme BOGO and suddenly you're cool, or a Babe hoodie, you're cool. But it doesn't work like that. Like if you look corny, you look corny. So that's my opinions on like Hypebeast, and that's why I don't like being called a Hypebeast, because when I think of the word Hypebeast, I think of people who only buy things because it's hype, and they don't know anything about the brand, or they don't know how to dress. They just wear hype brands like Off-White, everything with some Gucci or whatever. But I actually like know a lot about the heritage of Bape, and I know about the heritage of Supreme and a lot of these brands. But I wear it, but I'm still called a Hypebeast because that's what people know. If you wear the hype stuff, you're a Hypebeast. People say they want to be a Hypebeast like me when they grow up. That's a weird thing to be told. I want to be a Hypebeast like you when I grow up. I want to have Hypebeast items like you, man. I'm like, I just buy what I like. It's not because it's hyped. I don't have anything in my collection because it's hyped.
So I actually have
I totally agree with you on that.
I actually have a question for Christian, and that's I know you said that you missed the chance on getting the Chicago 1 retros from a few years ago. So what other shoes that has released the past few years do you want to go back and get in your collection, or maybe hope that they re-release or re-retro? Like what few shoes would you want in your collection that you missed out on?
Off the top of my head, if we're talking about releases like I would have had access to, like I don't think I would have had access to the Fragment ones because I don't know if they're released in Canada.
Yeah, they did. On
they did?
Nike.ca, I was clicking away that morning.
Okay. So, well, I never even tried to buy those. So I'll talk about like releases that I attempted to get. So the Chicago ones for sure. Yeah. The Slam Dunk Air Jordan 6s.
Ooh, yes. That's nice, man.
There was someone selling them locally in Toronto. Like I bought from them before. They wanted 500 Canadian, which I think is a great price. But deal. It's just I've spent 1.2 or 1.3 on sneakers over the last 2 weeks alone. So it's like my wallet's saying no.
So your Gatorades.
No. Yeah, the Gatorades. Oh no, but I like those things. I'm gonna keep those. I'm gonna keep those
All right,
because
you
they
keep.
remind me of the Carmines.
I remember. Yeah, the slam dunks were huge over here, just because there's like a huge like Asian population over here, and we all fuck with
Yeah.
slam dunk, right? So that was a huge get for. I actually got hooked up on those, but that was a huge get for me.
Nice.
So what else? A couple more? Can you think of that you
Other
missed
than
out on?
those, the Overkill EQT 9317s,
Yeah.
I really mess with those. And then like the OVO 12s that released at the Jordan store, the OVO 12s, yeah. Other than that, I'm very content with what I have because
Yeah.
like I've gotten to the point where I don't think about buying past releases anymore because I know I'd have to pay resale. So I've just moved on with my life. But if the shoe comes up for the right price, I would potentially cop. But I'm not like actively seeking Facebook groups looking for these shoes. I'm just like, I get enough shoes right now. Like I don't need to be spending more money on shoes, you know?
I definitely want to pick up like a shoe that I told you I want the Prestos, but I really really want a pair of the undefeated 97s.
Which
I like
ones?
the-
Black or whites?
I really
both?
like the white ones, but
Okay.
my size is like super hard to find, but I would also get the black one. I'm more like darker sneakers, but
Yeah.
because I just picked up the 97 off whites for a really good price little quick story before we start signing off here. When I was in New York, I bought the off-white Air Max 90s in a size 8, and I was just so happy to get them. I just bought them. And they ended up being just a little bit too big. And Eugene knows, I'm such a diva when it comes to my shoe size, where if it doesn't fit me like the way I want it, I move on with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up selling them, and then I ordered my size off of StockX. And so StockX sent them to me, and I opened them up, and my box was completely destroyed on the sides. Like there was like a hole in it, like it was just messed up. So I emailed them and I was like, I'm not gonna, like, this is fucking ridiculous. But the problem is the price went up for, like, I guess someone else was selling them and they would not budge to come down.
Yeah.
So I ended up finding a pair of 97s, which I kind of feel like they suit me better even too than the 90s. So I ended up getting them. So for the 97s, I definitely want to do soon is either going to be the Presto off-whites or a pair of the Undefeateds.
You reminded me actually, the off-white, like the Prestos are the ones. What else? The 97s. I missed out on those. I'd love to get those too. The thing is with those, I didn't even try buying them on Nike.ca. Like, no worries. I just sleep in on so many releases now. Like, I don't even bother trying to buy shoes these days because I'm so exhausted. So, I know my friend Sam, 6 Reviews, he got like 6 W's from that drop, the Off-White, the 10 collection. He got the ones, the Prestos, the Vapor Maxes, all from the Nike.ca release. And I was like, damn, I should have tried to get something because I just didn't even try. Like, I've gotten to the point where I see the limited release and I'm like, I don't even bother because it's not worth the stress. But now it's like, I think it's worth the stress now, looking back.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, too, like, even if you get something, you can always sell it and then get what you really want. Like, that's how you kind of got to look at it. Mm-hmm. So, I think we're going to wrap it up then, Christian. Do you have any questions more for Christian, Eugene?
Yeah, I just wanted to, first of all, I'd like to thank Christian Sneaker Talks. All the contact for Christian is underneath in the description below. Thank you so much for
follow him. His stuff is so good.
For coming on the show. And I think I talked about this briefly. I got to meet you in person finally when I was in Toronto just a couple months ago, so that was great.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you got to come out to Vancouver sometime. I'll show you.
I'm planning to. I will soon enough. Next year for sure. Maybe. Yeah, it'll have to be early next year.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you something about your channels. How I know that you've kind of revamped your channel and your website very, very recently since like the Japan trip, I want to say. And what in the near future or in the long-term future do you plan on doing with your social media presence?
I'm gonna be growing the Instagram like crazy. A lot of brands are looking at my Instagram and they want to do brand deals and stuff like that. And there's so much room to grow on Instagram and a lot of like things I can just do. So Instagram, I'm gonna try and hit like 100K followers by the end of next year, and then YouTube, I'm gonna be touring Europe and Asia first, and then Europe. So I'm gonna be daily vlogging my adventures around the world. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. So if anyone's watching this right now, that want to see how the adventure goes, and make sure you check out my channel. I got a ton of reviews on the way. Uh, lots of sneaker stuff, but I'm also going to be branching out of the sneaker stuff as well, just to diversify my content and have fun with the vlogs too. I don't want to like limit myself with sneakers, but sneakers are the reason where I am right now, so I'm going to always have them like within the content in one way or another.
I know you just
That's
said
it.
that you want to kind of branch off of the full-time sneaker content on your channel, and I know Tom, the real Ray Ray, sort of started doing that, and he's doing
Yeah.
a lot more entertaining videos. But at the same time, I think people might get the wrong message. Are you ever worried about losing a certain demographic of your viewers by straying off of that path a little bit?
Of course I worry about it, but I feel like I know I can get my content to the point where it's good enough where they're just gonna watch it because they like my personality, and then the sneakers are gonna be like a nice added touch. But I feel like because I know what Tom is doing is he eventually just wants to like be out of the sneaker culture, like sneaker side of YouTube as a whole eventually, and that we've talked about it in the past. But for me, it's like I'll upload my vlogs, but then I'll of course do the dedicated sneaker reviews consistently throughout the week. So it's not like I'll be leaving sneaker YouTube forever because it's called Sneaker Talk after all. If I really wanted to rebrand, I'd have to change the channel name and everything, and I think I'd lose a lot of momentum if I started to do something like that and just abandon what I've started off with.
All right, so thank you again to Christian for being on the Sneakerphiles live show, and of course, if you guys are watching this on the rerun, just click that subscribe button, and of course, subscribe to Christian's channel, Sneaker Talk. Man, you do like multiple videos a day sometimes, so I don't know how you get that
Your
schedule.
stuff's great.
And yeah,
Thank you. I got a second one going up later tonight after the stream.
there you go. So yeah, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to Christian, and I'll let Brooke here wrap up the show.
All right, let me just hit this real last question because he asked it again, and then we'll wrap it up. So thoughts on the Supreme logo hype and crazy resale price on box logos for how simple the design is? So I kind of messaged back on this, and I'll let you guys hit it too before we wrap up, just because I don't want to leave anyone's questions unanswered. I think it's dope. If I were to cop one, I probably would keep it unless there's an article of clothing or a shoe that I really, really want that could get me it there with the amount of money that it is in. But like I've talked about, I know I said it to Eugene earlier before the show, I would never pay that much money for a shirt if I could not get it at resale. Because I just think of wearing that hoodie or wearing that shirt and someone bumps into me or spills shit on me or a bird takes a shit on me while I'm walking, I'll be pissed. So I would never pay the resale price on that. That's your answer. You guys, real quickly, would you pay $1,000 for a hoodie?
I paid like 550 US for my Supreme BOGO, the crew neck. It's the camouflage one.
Oh, that's not that bad. Like 1,000.
Yeah,
Well,
I wouldn't pay 1,000. Okay, I wouldn't pay 1,000 right now. If we're talking about my financial situation in a year from now, it might be something I'd like spoil myself with for Christmas. Yeah, but not anytime soon. It's a definite no.
For me, I am in a fortunate enough situation where I don't have to pay resale very often for hype stuff. So just that price tag alone already drives me away, as in like, I'm pretty sure Christian has the same kind of feeling where if you're fed a lot of privileges, you kind of lose touch with how much stuff is actually worth. And because of that, like I can't fathom the paying over $1,000 for a hoodie when I know it's not worth that much to me, and I'm just not that crowd. So I understand if you've paid $1,000+ for a Supreme shirt. It's just I'm not that demographic. They're out there, just not me. So no judgment from me.
I might end up using a BOGO hoodie as a tax write-off for a business expense if it comes down to it.
Yeah,
because that's what I'm doing with a lot of my stuff right now.
Oh, smart.
There you go. All right, cool. So Christian, once again, thank you so much for coming on to our show. If you guys have not followed him on Instagram, watch his YouTube channel, or even heard what he has to say on Twitter or whatever, definitely check it out. He does really great reviews, and his photos are always on point with outfits from head to toe. So once again, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to have you on again soon. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And thanks everyone for joining in on the chat and watching tonight. We really appreciate it. So make sure you hit that like button. If you are watching at a later time, share it to your friends. Cool. All right. Excellent. Thanks so much, Christian.
No
We'll
problem.
talk to you
Thanks
soon.
for having me. Sounds good. See ya.